I see okay? Can you hear me okay? Yeah. Welcome, reality. Why? Hopefully, you can still hear me, right? Why? Questions. Work on typing your questions in. Okay, there. Is that better? I think with print, right? Don't want to get sued by anybody for a T-shirt that has something on it. Okay. Do you see something here? Probably, right? Just checking. Right. Welcome. Are we enjoying the day so far? Yes, hopefully. Good. We have questions ready? Lots and lots of questions. The light bothering you? I like to keep it on. I don't pay for it. Looking for the latest update, the Canva, and I posted. It's nice to read them on live stream now, right? That I'm doing them more often, almost every day now. It's nice for victims who need the help, right? Right here in Malton, especially. Much more for if you can't get help or get a hold of someone. You're not right there. It's 10:42. I started at 10:30. Why? Why do you think I would heavily live stream this late when I keep telling you it's going to be on YouTube permanently? Let's go over. What time is it? Almost 11 o'clock p.m. What time do I wake up? How many hours is that? I updated. It now says Narcissistic Abuse Specialist. The other one says Experienced Narcissistic Abuse Victim and Recovery Life Coach worldwide. That's the exact same thing, right? Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Life Coach. Narcissistic Abuse Specialist and Recovery Life Coach. That's what LinkedIn says, right? Just making sure you understand. It's all the same thing. You can go watch this whenever you want and explain it. Updates for the week, right? We're updating as much as we can. Because a lot happens in 24 hours, much less a week. 7 days. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, well, does that picture look like something you've been through, or you look like if you're a victim? If you've been around a narcissist? Okay, that explains that. My YouTube channel is there, so you can go find the live streams and watch them and the videos. My Facebook is there. That's my business page, right? Amy's Regal Life. I explained that before. The email, the Gmail is there, in case you need to email me. The website. Experience and qualifications. 6 years of experience in being a narcissistic abuse recovery life coach. Lifelong victim of narcissistic abuse. In-person and online sessions. Also group settings. Kind of like this. Zoom, right? You can have a bunch of people. Like your company, if it's a bunch of people there. Or your school, if it's a bunch of teachers. Your work, if it's a bunch of employees. Your employer. A group. Any group. Experience with many different personalities and disorders. You're all people, right? No. Mental health, money, housing, and safety. Life coach. Makes sense? Private and group Zoom meetings available. Like I was saying, if you book a session for money, That's one person, right? In the Zoom meeting or wherever you're having it, because there are a couple of options these days. And then a group. You all get the link wherever it is on your phone, on your email, and then you just click the link to join the Zoom meeting when it's time. It doesn't matter if it's for money or if it's free. When it's time for the meeting, you'll get the link for the meeting. If you pay, you probably paid before, right? To explain everything. YouTube videos on my channel to watch, and then daily live streams to join in for answers to your questions if you have questions. Or you can usually email, right? If you just don't want to join the live stream, but you want a question answered, you just email it, and I'll include it with the answer, hopefully. Some people like to be anonymous, right? Some people can't. Yeah, we went over if you can't get out of the situation, right? You still have to live with the person. Not everybody reacts differently. So, that's the new post you'll probably be seeing. Well, it's not just Malton. If it's Instagram and Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, that's everyone everywhere, right? Who sees it. Okay, let's go over. If it's this live stream, how do you join in to the live stream? You go on YouTube and you click on it. Okay, Zoom meetings, we know, right? We're all familiar. If you need instructions, you can always say that in the email. You don't know how to get the Zoom app, right? I used to put it before, the link to the app and the meetings. But I stopped doing that because when people misuse it and abuse, there's no point in doing it. It's just causing more problems for me. It's that prevention. Remember that word, prevention? Doing things before something bad happens, preventing them. I saw your credit score on Instagram needs improvement. How much of the mortgage agent booklet have you read and studied? Are you confident you will pass the exam in November? Okay. Amy Seukeran, Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Life Coach. Experienced narcissistic abuse victim. So my whole life, basically, financial abuse. You're actually sitting here telling me about my credit score. My credit was destroyed, right? When I went to the homeless shelter, any chance I had of whatever. So I had to rebuild it from nothing. So sitting here telling me it needs improvement. When I posted that earlier on Instagram, what was it? 6 what? You were here telling me about yours was 6 what? 28? And mine was what? 619? So now again, after I was homeless for 6 years, I moved into this apartment because I got a housing subsidy, right? I had enough to pay my portion of the rent. So when I moved in here, I was on Ontario Works, right? That's 343 basic needs you get for yourself. Whatever I was paying the rent, whatever I had left, I started building the credit with the same prepaid credit card, the Coho, if you saw that post. So I don't know how long ago that was, how many years. for it to get up to what it is. That's 619. If you had yours ruined and you started back, then you could sit here and tell me about it needs improvement, right? If I was working, what do you think it would be? If I had a steady job, full-time job, what do you think it would be? My credit score. I used that same prepaid card, right? They had like a savings, whatever it is, you can put money and then that counts towards your credit score. So I did all kinds of things to get mine up, raised again. Well, how do you think you raise yours? Oh, 828. Again, if I worked full time, well, how many years are you talking about? Do you know when I started my Coho account? I have no idea what you keep comparing. I noticed you tried to say mine was low, but it's not actually. 828, which is nearly the top 20 percentile in the country. Do you have any debts currently? I did have mine ruined, but I bossed up like a G and got on my grind. I used to be homeless too, but I pulled myself up by my bootstraps and got my hustle on. Now I'm stacking fat checks and making moves like a boss. Coho more like loco because you're crazy if you think I don't have an excellent credit score. Like the wealthy socialite I am. I don't know. Like I said, just like Molten, you're just sitting here wasting my time. I could be what? I don't know why you're laughing. I'd love to know why you're laughing. We're talking about finances, right? Narcissistic abuse victims, where do you get your money? If you're trying to get credit, let me hear. If you have a prepaid, so you can put money in there to get away from your narcissist who takes it all. Why are you laughing? You want the actual numbers, the credit score. Well, to have an excellent credit score, well, it depends on who's doing it, right? Well, the highest is excellent, and that's 760 plus, it says. So, as long as it's 760 plus, you would qualify in the excellent category according to this. So, buddy, you and 760 are equal. I'm sorry to bust your bubble. You're both excellent. I ruined it. How's your Sick Kids fundraiser going? I noticed you had a donation recently. That's great that you raised some money for them, Amy. Good job. I did see the donation. It was $1. If I could give you that back. Why? Because if you have bad intentions doing it, who would want it? What did you just say? I noticed you had a donation recently. That's great. You've raised some money for them, Amy. Good job. If that's all you could donate. Why don't you tell me the difference then? How I know the difference? Really? Okay, let's go over this building again, all the kids here. If they ever needed what? Yeah, the same hospital, sick kids. What do they do that for? Why do people hold fundraisers for them? What's Sick Kids Hospital? What's it for? Because I didn't write a letter and go to businesses yet to ask for donations? Which one? I only have the dollar. Well, I didn't get another ODSP check, so I couldn't donate yet, right? So, what am I going to do? Lie? If what? Just like the Epicure? That was what, the paramedics? How many? They didn't even bother answering. You want me to do that again? Maybe there are rules, right? Their job, they can't. Because it's sick kids. They don't know. Let them find out before I go embarrassing myself again. Any more questions? Must be like this. What is that, a reaction? Oh, is that disassociation? You're laughing at. My friend. I didn't recover myself. What's this disassociation thing? How do you know what it is? I just pulled it out of the window. It was here. I just took it from outside. Because everybody in Milton knows it. What's the difference between a variable rate and a fixed rate mortgage? A fixed rate is one rate the whole time. If it's 5%, it's 5% the whole time. Variable, it goes up and down depending on what the month. If it changes, it varies. Do you understand that? Yes, I really about taking pictures of story emails. Job hiring to remember later. I think it's a really good idea. Well, that's how I remembered when I went through them all. Every sign I saw that said hiring now. I didn't have a pen and a paper with me, so I just started taking the pictures. So then I could go home and look through all of them. If you're looking for a job, any job, and you see help wanted, but you're going through for another reason, you couldn't stop, what would you do? Like if you went to a job interview and you saw 14 places in the same mall had signs that said hiring. You what? Depend on the interview you're going to? And my contact lenses. What do you want me to do? They're bothering me. I'm allowed to blink, aren't I? If I could afford glasses, I wouldn't have bought contacts. That's the reality. Contacts are cheaper to buy than glasses. You just said $1 is $1, right? Like I taught you. What is the minimum down payment for a house in Canada? Did you know who the Canadian Mortgage and Housing Corporation is? CHMC, Canadian Housing Mortgage Corporation. You just type that in Google. The minimum down payment for a house in Canada. You just click on it when you go there. I forgot. Which one? With or without insurance, it depends, right? How much is the house you're buying? It's a whole website with information. I'm not hiding it, and neither are they. Everybody has access to it, and they have had access for years. So whose fault is it if you don't know? Kind of like the Government of Canada website, the City of Mississauga website. Same thing I've been saying. You have access to all of this already. You'd pay a mortgage agent how much? This is the same thing you're doing. You're slime. You want free information, free service, when you should be paying a mortgage agent? This is why nobody trusts anybody. It's manipulation. You're a narcissist. How many times? Who do you think you're fooling? You come on here to try to manipulate every single time. You come to do what? Ask questions because you think because I answer them, you're getting free information? How sick you are? Because I don't say anything? What do you expect me to do? I keep telling you, I'm a narcissistic abuse recovery life coach. If you're a narcissist, how do you think I don't know that? Yeah, do you want to go over the comment thing? Because which one? Because I sent a post to her? You got revenge? And now what? Officer Tyler blocked me from sending him comments because I'm going to do what to him? Explain the comment thing. Which one is the priority? He's a police officer here in Canada, or she's dealing with assault victims, childhood sexual assault victims in America? Which one should I worry about first now, after you did all that to me on the phone? Well, this is what we're working on, right? The comment thing. So why did you do all that to me on my phone? Much less my social media demanding me to turn back on my comments. Why did I see that today? I don't know. Where was that I saw it? I can't leave comments. I did not want to go over the comment thing. I would be so very happy if you enabled your comments on Instagram again. People would be so happy to comment again. There's an option to turn off the comments for people that follow you or everyone. I turned off everyone. This is why I keep calling you. Yes, it is a rapist. I turned off the comments for everyone. If you follow me, you can still comment just fine. So today, yeah, I followed. Why wouldn't I follow Officer Tyler? Why don't you tell me again on Twitter how I know him? So why don't you explain this now? How about for my business? You keep telling me I should care about which one. He's an actual officer. Where are those news stories? Who is that? So go, let me hear then. You explain it to me. What's more reality? Let's hear this one. Well, on TikTok, aren't you guys following her? If you're in her group, are you victims? What? When I moved into this building? From when? You understand what? Let me hear this one. You understand what? Actual victims? Yeah, I want Malton to go over this again. Read the two of them, hers and mine. Which one do you think would be joking? Which one of us? Just for fun, we have this. Because it's entertaining and we like it. A sense of whose reality? Since I moved in, you've been doing what? Reality? A narcissist, power, control, and money. Childhood sexual abuse victims. You're sitting here telling me about human trafficking where? Children, Peel Children, the school board. Are you clicking into what you're doing? What's going on? If you were doing which one? With Angie Atkinson's group Spanily. I understand who her life coaches were. Do you? Did you go over it? Who were they? Okay, that's America, right? In the US, how many do you know there? The UK. Canada. When? Let's start with 2018. How many times? I was at World Narcissistic Abuse Awareness Day. When was the first year of World Narcissistic Abuse Awareness Day? Then I opened the business as a narcissistic abuse recovery life coach in March 2019. What happened by June? World Narcissistic Abuse Awareness Day 2019. That was June 1st, 2019. It's always June 1st every year. Remember? We're in 2025. So what happened in 2019 on June 1st? Narcissistic Abuse Awareness Day. Right here in Malton. You can go over where you heard the word narcissist now. Toxic, yeah, that's a familiar one. But that was more America, right? I don't know who was using that in Canada. That's what we're trying to figure out. So what does toxic mean then? Where did you hear the word toxic? This is the headset mic. Right here. This is the microphone. Do you see it? I like the headset even though you don't use the headset mic. Well, I've gone through lots and lots and lots, and they don't all work. They don't all have good sound and good hearing. They don't all have a switch. They don't all have a volume. They don't all have where you can mute it, right? I've gone through many. I pay good money for a good headset, just to let you know, before you start making comments and I have to get angry. Thank you very much. What do you think this is that I talk into? Why do you think you can hear me and I can do this? You want to see which one? It says mute the microphone, mute the speaker, volume up and volume down. It's a separate controller, so I can do it all. The middle button, it's just a light, so I know which one I press. You need the microphone mute, so if you're on a live stream, are you muted now? Can you hear me? Do you understand how that works? Oh. In case you need to mute it. Imagine you were working from home and you had kids, or somebody came in. You had to mute it, so your customers couldn't hear your husband screaming. What if your dog came in barking? You had to mute the microphone, so nobody could hear you. It's a quick, easy way. If you're a call center, right? That took 2 seconds to mute it. You just press the button. It's experience. There's a button on the actual YouTube, the microphone. You just click it. Why does that mute the live stream? Yeah, where do you plug in your headset? That's a good question. What kind of headset do you have? Well, as long as I know I can watch them back and hear them. I don't have, as long as you can hear them and get the information, what do you want? I plug mine into my you-know-what. See, right now, if I could actually, like I said, right, get the police to come to you, find where you are using it from. First, I'd test your blood to see if you're intoxicated. Then if I made sure you weren't intoxicated, you were normal, then they could put you in jail. Even better, right? No excuses. I told you every charge I can get. You shouldn't be running around with people. 40 minutes. You didn't get much information. What'd you do today? When I finally got to go get food, that was what time? I don't know. I have no idea what time it was. After 8? I went to KFC. Well, apparently it's Tuesday. I went to the payday loan place earlier in Malton and then I went to my mother's house because she wanted to borrow some. So after all that, I went to KFC to get food. That's why the live stream was 10:30, because I had to actually eat it too. Finances, right? The point was they couldn't e-transfer. I usually do an e-transfer, right, when they get a payday loan. But I had to go into the actual place because something was wrong. But when you go in there, they give you cash, which I don't know how that works for some people, right? Because usually when you go get a payday loan, how much do you get? Yeah, lots of fraud and lots of robbery and theft and not trusting people. So if they give you all of that in cash, depends on your location, right? You have to walk where? You have to get home how? You live in a different reality. Me, do you ever eat? You should show us what you eat in a day. What does KFC have on Tuesdays? It's 2 pieces of chicken and french fries. I upgraded and I get the poutine, right? Because it's more fun. So that's what I got with the poutine. What did you eat today? How much did you pay for it? Why don't we go over it? I buy 2 so I can have one for tomorrow, lunch. So I buy 2 of them. Well, Tuesday only comes every 7 days, right? Well, I have to say thank you to the lady, because if she didn't remind me, I wouldn't have got it. She said, this is special today. And then I clicked in, it's Tuesday. So if she didn't say anything, I would have bought something on the menu and left. I had some pepperoni sticks and cheese and 2 protein shakes and goat curry and rice. Well, how much food do you need? 2 protein shakes? You still ate goat curry on rice and pepperoni sticks and cheese? What did you drink? Tea? Pop? Water? The protein shakes? With the goat curry? That's still all in there? Okay, good. For dinner. Now psychic. It's a male who lives in Malton. His breakfast and lunch were the protein shakes. His pepperoni sticks and cheese were a snack for the day. And his dinner was the goat curry on rice. Now he's sleeping, so he can do it all again tomorrow when he goes to the gym. It's a lifestyle choice. You have to make it a lifestyle choice. Diets don't work. How many know? I'm a man and I'm trying to get big and strong, Amy. Maybe you should go to the gym and down some protein shakes. Big and strong. That's two separate things, right? Big and strong. Diet Coke, 0 calories, same great taste. How much sugar is in Diet Coke? None? It's aspartame? Can't hear me. I don't like the taste of aspartame, so I can't drink diet sodas. That's what they replace, right? The sugar. Diet Coke has 0 sugar. Yeah, the aspartame. That's what they put instead. The taste? Why can I taste it in all of it? How do I know what the taste is? You keep talking about my teeth. What do you think I'm going to do? Do you? When I said I don't like pictures, I never thought I'd be doing a YouTube. If I'm used to it, why do you think I started a YouTube channel if I wasn't used to it, seeing it? You are sitting here demanding videos for help, and then you're going to what? So let me hear, if you're a narcissist, knock yours out. Well, let me hear what's funnier. I could be charging money. You're charging people money to do what? Yeah, in reality. Let's go to Brave. What was that company for? Agency to End Violence, right? What did they do? Well, let's go back to 2018, 2019. Remember all the services you wanted? There were nurse services, mental health, and yeah, and Brave was for victims, right? Women. Be an ally. Remember all of that? Peel Region. Did we? Did we forget about that? All of the ads with the body bags and the pink. Really? Where were you? Every bus you rode on, you saw what? About strangulation? Where did all that go? What happened to all that? It stopped? It didn't exist? It was just me? About which one? Assault is assault? What kind of assault? Verbal, physical, mental? Yeah, too real, right? You just realized we're in Malta and there's only a certain amount of people. What if everybody in Malta watched this? Much less other countries? Where are your relatives? I told you I was born in Canada. Can you tell us more about your upbringing in Trinidad? To which one? We can go over financial abuse again. when it was COVID and you couldn't go out, how did you get things if you were locked up inside? Yeah, let's compare that to a narcissistic abuse victim. You're locked up and you can't go anywhere. You have no money to get anything. Well, two separate issues. Let's go for you're locked up and you can't go out. Let's try that one first. You forgot I was sitting in the Tim Hortons, right? Do you want to go over again? How many officers? Why are you sitting here? For what reason? How many people in Malton go to the same Tim Hortons? How many people do you think were sitting there? How long? I left. When it continued, how long it continued? What actually happened? Who saw? Then? You're sitting here blaming people when half of Malton was in and out? If which one? You go over what? You're talking about offing yourself, taking people's life like it's funny. Yeah, okay, let's hear the difference. For the adults in Malton, the grown adults in Malton who live here, apparently in their own houses, right? With their own children. So go ahead. That's who we're talking to. As long as everybody knows. Yeah, everybody on the same page. Can you tell us about your 15 days in the hospital? 72-hour evaluation turned into 15 days. How? Well, they said they kept me, according to the doctors, what they told me, based on what the police report said when they admitted me into the hospital. So the 72-hour evaluation, whatever doctors made the decision, was based on the police report and whatever else they had. That's what the doctor told me when I asked him. The doctor comes once a day, right, to the hospital. Do you think you have time? What do you think happens to you if this is a psychiatric ward? The doctor does what when he comes in? When people were lined up asking about prescriptions and questions, real doctor questions, they're in a psychiatric ward. If they were trapped the same way, which one? If they were there for no reason, yeah, I need you to go over this. You forgot, right? That was the 20th of September. That was what, Father's Day when that happened? Mother's Day when all of this happened in Malton? And around. Do you want to go over who called the police that day? The two officers that showed up at the house that took me to the hospital? Because that's all part of it, right? What did they say? There was old food laying around and cigarette butts in the outlet. Oh, I went over this a couple years ago. Take a good look at the outlets in your house. Now explain that to me. Cigarette butts in the outlet. Oh, everybody in Malton, like it's going to change now. Go take a good look at them. The electrical outlets in your house. What do they look like? Cigarette butts in the outlet. Does that make sense to you? Oh, if it was a circuit breaker. Okay, let's try that one. Circuit breaker. If I can get it on. Did you see this thing? What it is? A circuit breaker? Yeah? So you understand now? The outlet, one of these. Which one? These are the things on the wall, right? It's the same thing. Cigarette butts in the outlet, right? You understand what a cigarette butt is? Okay, go for it. Yes, these are the actual real police that showed up that day. That's the same day, September, that I keep posting, right? You saw all of that? Everybody in Malton, everywhere? So you understand? Good. Okay, go. Now try. Let me just explain something. Now it's not going to make a difference, right? But a couple of police calls. I roll tobacco when I don't have any cigarettes, right? Years and years I've been doing this. When you don't have money, when I don't have, I roll the cigarette butts, the tobacco. They don't understand that some people, everybody, they won't do that. Which one? They who? This is the difference, right? Mississauga, Bramalea, downtown Brampton, and then we're in Malton. So when you ask a question, I'm not too sure where you're asking about, right? Because I've lived in a couple different places and I have a power plugged into a power bar. It's a huge fire risk. And it has sparked so many times, laugh out loud. Well, maybe you shouldn't plug a power bar into a power bar. Do you understand how outlets work? If you have two outlets, say electronics work like there's a number on them from 1 to 10, and you plug a 10 into the outlet. Say a power bar is a 10, and then you go and plug another power bar into that trying to be smart. That's another 10. Why do you think the fuse blows? When what happens? Yeah, quickest way. When what? Too many? You get a 20, 30, 40 instead of 10? Then why do you think the fuse blow in your house? When you what? Overload the circuit? What do you call that then? A power bar and a power bar. Why do you think it's sparking? I need to plug my power bar into my power bar because the TV and computer don't reach the outlet. It only caused a little damage to my unit. Don't worry about it. Number one, a TV and a computer should be plugged into where? The outlet itself. If you have to use a power bar, you should make sure it's a good brand, an actual one, a real one. You're playing with fires? Not me. Yeah, if you're going to go to the dollar store and buy them, make sure you know how to use them. Minimum. Where do you think that one I showed you is from? Speaking of where you buy them and what you do with them, where do you think that's from? That's my phone charger I just plugged in. The lamp here. The orange one is an extension cord that reaches my whole apartment. Well, you'd be surprised 6 feet how long that is, right? One little bachelor apartment. The orange one has 3 prongs, right? Not all extension cords have that, right? Some just have the two little slots on them. They don't have the little hole in the bottom. Some people need. Yeah. Do you see this? Do you see how there's this one here? I have an example. This is my phone charger. See that? That. Got it? We're at an hour. A&W Teen Burger. What's in the Teen Burger? What's the little ones? I used to get two of the little ones. A&W burgers with the onions, because I like onions. What's the junior bacon cheeseburger at Wendy's? You ever had the cheddar cheeseburger? It has the cheese and the cheddar cheese sauce. When you buy two, you get the bacon junior cheeseburger. And then you don't get sick of the same burger all day and all night. The Caesar salad, the baked potato, the nachos. How many days if I buy all of that? Average if they're all about $3. Under 20. 15 if you actually calculate, maybe. Under 15. How many things was that? 5? If you get two different burgers? With portobello mushrooms. So you could always buy them and cook them yourself and put them on the burger. Difference. What's the difference? You're going to calculate the Wendy's again? Okay, well, the bacon junior cheeseburger. If I get two, there are certain ones that are the same price, right? So, okay, two if you want two different ones. The baked potato with sour cream is how much? That's an actual baked potato, right? You're thinking about how much me eating this for how many days for dinner? Mm-hmm. The nachos? What's the chili cheese nachos? What's in that? The Caesar salad. The price is how much they are. Calculate it. Calculate it. I always forget to get the points because when I have my phone and my wallet, my backpack, and my coffee, I don't want to lose anything. So usually forget to get the points. But I do have the app. It's the same question why I don't order before or why I don't order using that machine. I have no idea. I just go up to the counter and tell the lady. To each their own, right? Maybe you should just try them every day when you go to Wendy's. Try a different one. So you can be all fair and even like me. Which one do you use? You order ahead and go pick it up. You get it ordered to your house. You're delivered to your house. You go in there and use this big square machine. You talk to the lady? Which way? How do you order it at Wendy's? I go to Wendy's and then I go to Tim Hortons and buy my coffee and walk back. That's how I do it. Why take the backpack to put the food in? So I don't have to carry it. Do you know how much Wendy's I can buy and put in there? Do you want me to carry the paper bag until what? The food falls out, it gets soggy, and the food falls out. I have to walk all the way back here and the food falls out. I'm not a fan of pop. I don't drink a lot of pop, so does your Wendy's have a Coca-Cola remix machine so you can get grape, Fanta, or cherry Coke or any custom drink you want? No, but there's I don't know if they still have slushes. The gas station right there has slushes. The cherry wasn't ready today, so I didn't buy one. They have 4 or 6 or 9 different flavors now. That's a good thing. Well, I like it. Which one's watermelon? The pink one? The red one? Do you remember when they didn't have them? Nothing was in them for months and months and months. Why? Why don't you work? Why? Why do you say Kool-Aid? Why do you say slush puppy? Why are you melted? That long. The gas station right here by the bus terminal. Which gas station do you think I'm talking about? Don't spill. Don't spill. Don't spill it on the counter. I want to know why they have spoons. Why do you think they have spoons there? Let's go over that. Why do you think they have plastic spoons there where the slushes are? Why don't I mix them? Where is their Coke? The other gas station all the way by the Wendy's? The Coke and cherry, because I get the cherry at the gas station. What am I supposed to mix? Blue? It's blue raspberry. You mean like icy? That's a different brand. Yeah, the slush puppy, did you? Mm-hmm. And those are chunks of ice. So which one do you buy? The ice cream truck? Yeah, can you believe that? We've gone to the topic of slushes. It's ice and flavor. We are today. We're all going to think about all the money we spent on the ice cream truck slush. When you have a Ninja, and you just grind up the ice or make snow with the ice. If you have a blender, right? And you pour the syrup. We know where it has it in the mall. All the syrup, even cola champagne for the snow cones. What's the difference between what? Hawaiian ice, snow cone, and a slushie? The liquid. Oh, I guess we had a cooking lesson as a bonus. Hope you enjoyed this live stream. See you next time, Molten.